So I have some questions that I wanted to make sure that I got to. How frequently should I be modifying my budget at this point? As soon as I see something that doesn't align, or monthly, or something else. When you're first starting, I would definitely make sure that you keep a super close eye on your spending, on your budget. Where is your money going? And so that means like checking up on it every single day. That means that right now, as we're starting to get used to your money and seeing where it's going and how it's getting spent, those kinds of things, I would check up on it every single day. At the end of the month, that would be when I would do a full recap, because then that has given you some time to see what's worked, what's made a change, and what hasn't. Because you can only do so much. Like if you're going day to day and you're like, oh my gosh, there was a $7 charge, I need to redo my entire budget. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of work. I wouldn't do that at all. I would definitely keep an eye on your spending, keep an eye on where your bills are coming out and when they're coming out and when you're getting paid. And then each month, at the end of the month, do a check-in to see how you did, how you felt about it, how you felt about your spending, if there was anything else that you can cut, if there were any areas of like weakness. Weakness is so relative. So like what I mean by that is if I know that usually I don't have a problem spending on Amazon, but on Friday last week, I spent $68 on Amazon. I can go back, look at what I bought and say, why did I do that? Because obviously like Amazon keeps track of all that stuff. And if I'm looking at it and it's like, oh, I remember what I bought and it was like clothes or something. It was from an Amazon ad. I can go back and check in and say, why did I buy that? Was it because I actually needed clothes? 10 out of 10. No, I do not need clothes. I am cleaning out my house to move right now. I do not need clothes. Why did I buy clothes? Because I wanted something pretty. Because I didn't feel good about myself in that moment and I needed some retail therapy. Did I return that item? Of course I did. But what caused me to want to buy that? What caused me to derail a little bit and go into a territory that wasn't helpful, that isn't going to be moving me forward with where I want to be with my money? All of those different kinds of things come back to me. It doesn't come back to Amazon. It comes back to me. What are things that I can do to catch myself in that pattern before it happens again? I would check in with your budget periodically. I wouldn't freak out and feel like you need to change everything around if you found, again, like a $7 charge. But I would make sure that you are keeping track of yourself as well. If you find yourself adding a bunch of things to your cart on Amazon or inside of the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A or ordering something from Grubhub when you have a fridge full of food, check in with yourself and say, why am I doing this? Because a lot of the time it comes back to, I am feeling like I have a need that's not getting met. And what that usually looks like for me is, if you're like me, my love language is acts of service and quality time. If my needs of acts of service and quality time are not getting met, then I know that I will go and do ridiculous things. Like I will order myself $70 worth of Greek food. Just being honest here, Greek food is one of my weaknesses. So I know that if I'm in Grubhub and I'm like, $80, that's not that bad, and it's just for me, I'm not getting it for anybody else, then I know that I can check back in and say, why am I doing this? Is this actual self-care? Or is this something that I need to talk with my family about? Or is this something that I need to say, okay, what else can I do that's not a $70 a week self-care that is going to be more beneficial for me in the long run? And usually that comes down to, I tell my husband, like, hey, can you grill me a steak? Can we do hamburgers? Can you cook me dinner? And that usually helps me. Now, everybody's love languages are different. Everybody feels full in different ways. For me, that's what I do, is I check in with myself and say, what do I need? And I ask for it. I ask for it from the people around me. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, that's when I know that I start to see things like those Amazon ads are really showing up an awful lot. They've always been there, but I don't notice it until I'm feeling overwhelmed, unappreciated, all of those things. Be aware of yourself. Be aware of any time that you intentionally spend money. Be aware of things that are coming out of your bank that you might not be aware of. Cancel them immediately if you don't like them. Ask for returns, ask for refunds. There's nothing wrong with that. And be aware going forward of the things that have been getting spent money on that you don't want to. So let's say I've told you guys about my my subscription box that I keep getting in the mail. I know, I'm terrible at this, but I finally canceled it. What am I going to do with that extra $50 every quarter that was going to this subscription box that I didn't want? Well, I can put that into my vacation fund. Well, that means that I can then get a Starbucks drink every single Friday for $5, guilt-free. That means that I can build my emergency fund that much quicker. That's an extra $17 a month that I can put towards takeout if I want to. That's how I'm going to encourage you guys to start looking at every time that you're able to save money, or by cutting a bill, by cutting an expense, by putting money back into your pocket. I want you to look at it as something positive. That's $100 extra by calling Verizon and saying, hey, can I have a better plan? Or calling your insurance company and saying, hey, I haven't had an accident. Can I please get a discount? Like Allstate gives discounts. Progressive gives discounts. Why don't you give discounts? Where are you going to put that money? What's going to be that job for that money that you can give it so that it can have a place to go? So that you're saying that you appreciate that money and what it's been doing for you and what it's going to do for you.